So welcome back, everyone. I have another newbie with me. I have with me Christian Pedersen, and he is the owner of Justice on Demand. Welcome to the show. I know you're a PI attorney. I want you to tell everybody a little bit about yourself. And you wrote a blog, and you want to talk about this blog. So welcome to the show, and let's talk about it.
Well, thanks, Carol, for having me on. So I've been practicing personal injury law for quite some time, and I had noticed there were some mistakes that a lot of my clients would make kind of out of the gate, and because not their own fault, because you don't learn these things when you're in high school or in university or something.
Only on Networking Arizona will you learn all of these things.
So I made a list of the 5 things that you have to do if you've been involved in an auto accident.
Okay.
The first thing is call 911, and one of the main reasons is first to make sure you get an ambulance or medical attention there for anybody that's hurt. That's the most important thing whenever you've been in an accident. The second thing is you want the police to come out to also take statements from yourself and from the other driver. I can't tell you how many times I've had clients who don't call the police and the other person causes the accident and they apologize and say they were at fault, and then I get involved and talk to the at-fault driver's insurance company, and they tell a completely different story. So it's always important to get the police out there to get a statement on the record from both you and the other driver. The second thing that I always recommend, if you don't have to go to the hospital or via ambulance, is take as many photos and videos as you can of both your vehicle, the other driver's vehicle, their driver's license, their insurance info. I've had many clients who get in an accident and then they get out and they talk to the person. And I actually had one client where they said that they were going to go get them some ice for their back. And you know what happened next, right? They took off and they never got a photo or video of their license plate, of their driver's license, of their insurance, and then it becomes a hit and run type situation, which can be more difficult.
Terrible. Hold on tight. I want to talk a little bit about you, okay? So first of all, he has offices throughout the valley, Mesa, Gilbert, and Queen Creek, but he helps everybody statewide and in California as well. His website is justiceondemand.com. The phone number to call him, I say put this number in your phone. Because you never know when something's going to happen. Because yes, you got to call 911. Yes, you got to call the police. But afterwards, when you come home and whatever, you need to call an attorney. And so the phone number to call is 480-447-5721. Again, and the website is justiceondemand.com. Before you go there, I want to talk about other things, okay?
Absolutely.
Because you're going fast and you only got
Okay.
5. So I do want to ask this. So you work on a contingency basis only?
We work 100% on contingency, which means we don't get paid unless you get paid. All of our consultations are 100% free. I've helped many people who call in and have a question or something, and it may not be something that I can help them with or something that I practice with, but have been able to help guide them and point them in the right direction, and there's obviously no charge for something like that.
Right. I want to also ask you, accidents, there's accidents, and then there's accidents, right? So how do they know that they're going to have a case? I mean, you must have a conversation with them first on the phone, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so what kind of case is something that would not be something you would accept?
So typically if you've been in an auto accident and you're not injured, that's something that I could help give you advice on how to deal with getting your car fixed or replaced. It's not something that we bill or charge for. But I'm a personal injury attorney, so keyword being injury. So
injury, big time, folks.
If you've been injured, then we're happy to talk to you and,
right.
and represent you.
If you're injured, and I hate to say this, but nobody wants anybody to get hurt.
Correct.
Right. This is big, but sometimes people do get hurt. You should go to the hospital.
Absolutely.
Right, no matter what.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, and let's say somebody thinks they're okay, but they're not, they're not 100% sure. Because sometimes it's like the next day, I've heard that before, right?
Yes.
So when should they go? Obviously, if you're hurt right away, go immediately. But sometimes it's the next day and their back is out of whack and things like that. Talk to us a little bit about that, Christian.
If you have any discomfort or pain whatsoever, you should go on the day of the accident if possible. I had a client in California who was hit in a crosswalk. She kind of got bumped and fell back and kind of bumped her head on the asphalt. She ended up thinking she was okay. She went home. The police, the police tried to take her via ambulance, and she wouldn't go. She was at home, was feeling weird, called her daughter. Her daughter said, "Hey, you need to go to the hospital." So she drove herself to the hospital. She told them their symptoms. They did a CT scan. She had a brain bleed, and she had to be admitted to neurosurgery. And she thought she was 100% fine. So you can never be too cautious, and that was the third point: was seek medical attention as soon as humanly possible if you've been injured in an auto accident.
Absolutely. Don't take any chances. It's best off that you go. Make sure you're okay. And, if you're not, we don't want that to happen, but you have a right to have representation. Okay?
Absolutely.
And I would say a lot of people, especially older folks, are like, oh, I don't want to bother, but it's your right to do this, and you really should make sure. And it's not about being Sue happy, right? Let's talk
Correct.
about that for a second. Go ahead.
Absolutely. If you try to do this on your own, I can just tell you the insurance companies, they treat personal injury attorneys terrible, but they treat me a lot better than they're going to treat you. So if you, for example, if you have, say, $15,000 in medical bills and you try to make a claim, they're probably going to say, oh yeah, we'll pay you $8 for that.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, my bills are 15, so who's going to make up the other 7? Oh, well, too bad, it's not our responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
So getting an attorney is absolutely critical, because you're just never going to get treated fairly by the insurance companies.
They don't want to pay you. Come on. They want your money. They want your money. But when it comes to this, you think that's what you put your money you paid for that. But you know what, folks? Unfortunately, that's just not the way it is. You need to make sure you have an attorney when something bad happens, and bad things happen to good people. The phone number to call them direct and put it in the phone. You never know when you're going to need it. 480-447-5721. The website is justiceondemand.com, and he works on contingency basis. Okay, go to 4.
4, don't ever talk to the other driver's insurance company. When you buy auto insurance, you're covered to where you don't have to deal with other people's insurance company. A lot of people say, well, I don't want my insurance company to have to pay with it or deal with it. You don't have to worry about that. They'll go after them on your behalf and get reimbursed. That's part of the reason why you have auto insurance, is for them to protect you and to have your best interest at heart. If you go talking to the person who caused the accident, if you talk to their insurance company, they're not your friend. They're there to pay you the least amount possible to get your car fixed, and for your medical bills and any pain and suffering you may have had.
Also, you're not emotionally involved. Most people who are calling and doing these things, you're doing on their own. First of all, you don't understand the lingo, and they know what to talk. They know what to say to you, and you'll get wrapped up into something that's not good for you, or you talk too much. I bet you, right?
That's the number one issue I have with my clients. They talk too much.
They talk too much. Stop talking, everybody, really. So, okay, and then what's number 5?
Number 5, we talked about, talk to an attorney. Get an attorney as soon as you can. The day of the accident, if possible. If not, then definitely get an attorney. But actually get an actual attorney you can talk to. If you call one of those guys from the billboards, you're probably not going to talk to an actual attorney, and if you do, it might only be one time, and you'll have a paralegal or case manager who manage your case from start to finish instead of an actual attorney.
So let's talk about that, okay? So I get in an accident. I've done exactly what you've said to do. I'm going to call 911. I've called the police. I'm going to the hospital, and now I call my attorney. And what happens when you answer? Do you it's your firm. You're going to actually speak to them. Is that correct? You?
Yes. Eventually, I will speak. I speak to all the clients myself. If you ever need to talk to me, I am available to be scheduled. I make myself very available to my clients to talk one-on-one, answer any questions, let them know where their case is at. The number one bar complaint that happens every year is, I can't get a hold of my attorney. I don't know what's going on with my case. I've made it my, a staple of my practice to not be that guy and to make sure that I'm probably too accessible to my clients.
Well, what's really nice is that when something happens to you, you want to have somebody that you can rely on to be able to talk to and make sure you understand. That's another part of all of this too. And you can call him. He does have offices throughout the valley, but he works with people statewide. So the offices are in Mesa, Gilbert, and Queen Creek, but again, statewide as well as in California. You can check him out on his website. It's justiceondemand.com. You can also understand too that this is on a contingency basis, right? So you're not paying anything out of pocket. It's all at the end. And you want somebody to make sure they listen to hear that case that you're dealing with, find out, is it a case, right?
Absolutely.
It's all about that. And let me ask you this. Is there a statute of limitation of, let's say somebody got into an accident, is there a time where that's too late for them to call you, or no?
Yes, it's generally 2 years for an auto accident unless there was a state entity like a driver for, say, public schools or the city or something like that.
Again, that phone number to call them, put it in your phone, because you never know. You could be right there right now, something happens, God forbid, but don't drive and text, okay? Because then you got to call, it might be your fault. So 480-447-5721. It's justicondemand.com.